Baby, we're back. We are back. And as you can tell, if you are a fan, if you're a true fan of JJ Liberman GoonCast, the greatest podcast for elite losers, if you're not a fan, you're like, what the hell with that name? But if you are a fan, you will notice we are at a different location. I'm sitting on a green velvet couch. This room that we're in, you can't see, is a library. It's unbelievable. But this green is hideous. Make it black. But yes, so we are at producers Brandon Lejean's apartment rental thing, which again, nobody, you know what's so crazy when you live in a condo? Nobody uses the amenities. You just pay a lot of money. Like I'm talking about like past gym and pool. And even that, I was cold plunging all winter. Nobody was in the pool, but you have to pay for those amenities. And there is a board. There is a board. You guys have board member here?
Yeah, we have a whole board of.
They have a whole board.
Yeah.
You know, those people are funneling money to their personal use. I don't know if they're allowed to directly deposit in their bank account, but they are getting benefits like the construction that comes here. The board does that. They're I used to live beside the president of the board, the most crooked cunt I have ever met, and she was getting stuff done to her patio. They have like restrictions on your patio, how big it can be. She was getting extensions to it. Corrupt. I don't know her name. I wish I knew her name, but it was 112 George Street in Toronto, Ontario, right across the street from the big church that they have all the funerals in for the biggest people in Toronto. The bitch who is the president of the View Condominiums board is a corrupt cunt. Go after her. Dox her. I think her apartment was, actually mute that part. It was that apartment. But she was evil. And you know the crazy thing about her is that when I moved in 2012, May 2012, I was living there with the landlord who was my roommate, but now he's a landlord. And that's how I got the two dogs. And you notice the dogs aren't here interrupting. But I moved in 2012, May 2012, and lived there until I moved in 2021. And when we moved in, her husband was dying of cancer. And she would always complain about the dogs being loud. But as soon as the husband died, man, did she ever put a smile on her face? Happy-go-lucky. That's what people are doing. They're waiting for you to die. When you're sick, they look at you as a burden. This bitch was waiting for her husband to die. As soon as he died, I mean, she went away for 2 months. A little vacation with the inheritance. I didn't see her working, so I assume she wasn't making money. Evil people in the world. That is why if anyone expects a cent from me when I die, you're getting nothing. I'm creating a dog sanctuary. It's going to dogs. There's one in Playa del Carmen right now where they house all those street dogs. They take them in, the ones that need vet bills. That's where my money's going. Or if I'm rich enough, I'm going to have my own thing. Have you seen the bodybuilder who has 50 little dogs in his house, Bobby Humphreys?
Yeah, that guy's crazy. That's too many dogs. I love dogs.
50 dogs, 50 small dogs.
That's like 48 too many.
And they're all like crippled dogs. They're all like they're all the Jared Nathans of the world. They have stutters. And, I don't know if you know Jared Nathan. But yeah, that's a lot of dogs. But yeah, that's what I want. Not that many. I would do 10 with a backyard, little ranch out here in Austin. I am moving back to New York City, but the goal is to come back here in the fall, have a little bit more money, get an actual place with more space. Like, you know, when those ground floor condos where you can have like a little bit of a backyard, you don't have to talk now because you're chewing. So don't.
I'm sorry, I was hungry. I muted myself.
Did you not notice that, we did a podcast yesterday. JC at the beginning is eating a fucking chicken meatball.
They do iced coffee a lot, and I'm like, dog, you don't understand.
Dude,
they're gonna freak out on
amateurs.
You. It sounds crazy. Like just that bit of chewing is miserable to listen to.
It's literally misery. My mother used to answer the phone while she was eating, and I could hear her chomping away. And I think this is where our relationship started going turmoil. And that's when I started calling her by her first name. I said, Ann, hang up the phone right now. And she was like, why? And then I would just hang up. And I was probably around when I was late teens when I was sneaking off to the gay areas and getting my dick sucked. That's when I could tell she was not interested in my life and I was going my own way. But anyways, so speaking of the iced coffee, I did get, this is, I'll say it, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Coffee in Austin, below par. For as great as everyone says the coffee scene, Desnudo, unbelievable. And Buzzmill, believe it or not, it's just a local hang for comics. This is where I guess, yeah, nobody's going to find where you live. But this is near where you live. It's great. And the best part is comics work there. So let me tell you a story about little Chandler, coffee barista, comedian. So I was like, hey, let me get a Rambler, which is infinitely the best. I don't know if that's the right word, but it is now. But it is the best soda water. And I said, can I get a nice coffee? I'm like, can you kind of, and I was kind of hinting to him, shake it up. I did tip him $4 on a $7 order. I was like, hey, the last guy, he made it, what's his name?
Martin Hen.
Martin. Yeah, he'll like shake it up, kind of give a little, zest. There's no trouble when you're getting a nice coffee and you're going to get milk in it or cream. If you're a barista, put it in a margarita glass, shake it off like you're beating your meat. It's just that much better. Why do I have to do a stir stick? So he's not shaking it up. He's definitely, and I was like, yeah, I guess Martin last time he was shaking it up and he was just looking at me because he's got that dazed and confused haircut and the kind of, oh yeah. And so I'm telling him, yeah, Martin was shaking. Oh yeah, cool. And I just watched him pour it right in there. No shake. Spencer Chandler. And then the worst part, he goes, yeah, comics come by a lot. I'll give them free coffees. Didn't see anything free on my $7 tab, plus $4 for the tip. Anyways, so that was it. Shout out to Buzzmill. Shout out to Chandler.
That's crazy, though, to charge you full price and be like, dude, sometimes I hook people the fuck up. Not you, but I hook people up.
And then he covered himself. So he caught himself. He goes, yeah, but I only get 2 of them a day. Yeah, right. You fucking. Who's watching?
Hey, brother, it's 3:00. I bet you haven't used them yet.
Yeah, eye in the sky. You think there's an eye in the sky? Just looking at him like how many fucking Chandler. And I just played 3 hours of poker with him this week on a live stream. He's like, you're a pretty good poker player. And I'm like, yeah, played professionally. But anyways, that was not what I wanted to talk about. What we planned on talking about, we'll get to the Ashton Hall at the end. Because I was in, thank you everyone, people coming out. People are coming out. I was in Denver and I was in Salt Lake City. People are coming out like, we see you on Kill Tony. We see you on A Pervert. They're coming out. Now, was it less than 10 people combined 6 shows? Yes, but they're coming out. And so we go to Salt Lake City, and I tell Ryan Long, I'm like, dude, we're going to make the funniest video. I thought it was like, did you see the Soaker versus Shaker?
Yes.
So I was thinking, obviously, Soakers, for those who don't know, are the greatest human beings in the world. They get to go inside of someone and not move. And to me, sure, maybe your first few years of life, you want to enter someone and just really throw D. Like you just want to pound, fish hook. I once was talking about fish hooking on stage and some chick goes, no, that's not, nobody likes that. I said, nobody in your culture likes that. But I was talking about fish hooking and whatever the culture is. I forget black. But I was saying the fish hooking thing. So your first few years of throwing D, you want to do moves. Or if you're getting someone new, you want to do moves. But maybe I'm wrong on this theory. Later in life or later in relationships, I just want to go inside and soak. I want to just sit inside of you and just soak. Not move. Breathe loud into your ear. And then bust a nut. I think that's the best way to have sex. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think soaking, the Mormons have it wrong. Soaking at the end, destroying at the beginning.
It's cool. Yeah, it's easy. Also,
long-term relationship.
Yeah, and if you nut, you just blame it on the guy shaking you. He shook me too fast.
No, but I'm saying now, if you're in a long-term relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather soak or really have great sex?
I'd rather just soak.
But the reason you can't
Is
you're a woman.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have. You gotta. It's selfish if you just soak. You're a pillow princess on the other end.
What's the pillow princess?
Pillow princess is like they get there and they just lay down. Like they're all hot.
God.
I'm a freak, and then they get there and they're like, missionary, you be top. You're like, you're not a freak. You're lazy.
Oh my God.
You're a
Pillow
liar.
princess is the greatest term. Let me put this out there. I'm looking to marry a pillow princess. For any of you people who just want to lie down and like just lay there and like close your eyes, pretend it's some other man, and I just go inside and I soak, let me know. I will pay for your flights. You can come on tour with me. Not all the fun places like Vegas. You're not coming to Vegas because I'm getting an escort. But every other place, you get to come on tour. If you're pillow princess, you have some good bus, though. I need some good bus. And you're willing to let me pregnate you so I can get titty milk. So, but yeah, is that the term, pillow
princess? Yeah,
I love that.
It's a great term, but yeah, that's.
So what's that? The terrible. You shouldn't have. Pillow princess sounds like something good.
No, it's like a huge insult. I literally heard someone. I kind of forgot about it. It was like a phrase when I was in college, and then someone said it the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
What did they say? I was.
They're just like, "Dude, she was. Oh, you fucked that girl. She was bad." And he goes, "Yeah, but she was a fucking pillow princess."
You should. Pillow princess should be called pillow pig. You don't deserve princess if you're just laying there. Like soaker. But yes. Anyways. I want to be married to a pillow pig. Obviously, a princess when we go out for dinner, which I can partake in spending money on someone. But yes, that is another thing too. Isn't that crazy if you're some kind of like tech baller bro and you have to take out these hot Austin chicks out for dinner, and then you also now have to put on that is crazy to me. Like if you're spending money, if I'm taking you out on the date, I get to be a lazy lover. So that was my whole point. I was like, I felt home. I've never wanted to be more of a soaker like that. As much as a cuck, I enjoy the term, but I don't like it because there's still like stigma against cucks. I am a soaker for sure. Just my ex used to call me a wet blanket, like based off my personality, because I didn't want to go watch piano bars with her. Like I didn't want to go to these piano bars in Vegas and watch her drink 20 tequila and sodas because she was a lush. And she called me unfun. That's unfun. Not watching you get vehemently drunk where you're puking all over the floor. Anyways, so yes, but as a soaker, I for sure am a soaker. But the main thing I want to talk about, so I made a couple videos saying like, I felt at home because I am a lazy lover and not ashamed. The first couple times, that's what you do though, right? You lie.
Yeah.
You lie. So when you're dating at the beginning, you lie about the person you are, and then you also lie about how good in bed you are. Right? And then the longer you date, they realize, oh, you're not a good person. No, I'm not. I'm terrible. Like, I'm a good person, but I'm selfish, and I'm selfish in bed. I remember this one chick who I still occasionally hook up with. The first time when I was doing her missionary, I was like, you thumb the clit just to make sure they come. That was 12 times ago. And I count how many times I've breeded her. She thinks it's crazy. She's like, you count? And I'm like, of course. I don't know. I want to know how many. I want to keep it running. But yes, I don't think she's come since.
That's tough.
No, she does it on top. I lie to them. I like go on top because I love how you ride, but I know they can make themselves finish on top. So they think, oh, I'm so sexy in this position. I'm just like laying down. Sometimes I'll put my hands. Anyways,
giving away your secrets, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me tell you something. I've never had the success I thought I could have, and now I have it. Nobody's sleeping with me. It is crazy. But all right. So the most viral. We've talked about Ashton Hall. If you don't know who Ashton Hall is, don't watch my content. You should. He's the most. Dude, some of his videos are getting 300. He's the Mouse Morning Routine Saratoga Spring. Some of his videos are getting, so every video gets tens of millions. But the most impressive thing about Ashton Hall, he does the running thing where he's running with, I don't know why he's running with a German Shepherd. I don't know why he's running and people are filming him. That's crazy to me. Like, it's that overt, that he has it's cool, though. The music's cool. But when he's running, this man is perfect. Not only is he good looking, not only is he built, not only is he viral, not only is he starting movements, he has the biggest BBC I've ever seen. Have you ever seen any of the videos?
Yeah, where it's flopping around and shit.
It's flopping. Are you watching it now, or have
I'll put a picture in.
Have you not taken notice of this before this flop?
No, I mean, yeah, before. Well, when you texted me and I literally was like, oh yeah, I didn't have to look it up. I had already seen it.
Huge.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now. I don't know if there's a correlation of massive hogs to success, but there is here. So he, because the Greeks and the Romans, because they were all walking around naked, I think. This might not be true. This might be just something I've thought about, and it's not true. But my theory on the statue of David is, let's put a guy out there who's got a small hammer, and then they'll think that's how everyone looks. Like, it's a smart way to think. Let's orchestrate, let's socially construct, because the statue of David, was Michelangelo?
Yes.
Michelangelo.
Yes, Michelangelo.
When was Michelangelo doing this?
Let me see.
He was Greek, or was it after the Greeks?
He was an Italian sculptor and painter in Italy.
Yes,
and he was from 1475 to 1564.
And how much longer before that was ancient Greece and ancient Rome?
Let me find that out.
Yeah, so this is I don't know this stuff. So my whole theory is this: that the Greeks used to say, I'm pretty sure on this. When was it?
146 BC, so about 1,500 years before.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole theory on this is that the before Christ, which is crazy. That's
Well, I misread. So ancient Greece went from the 8th century BC, so all the way back to 8th century BC down to 146 BC when Rome took it over. So then Rome was really like the 1,500 years.
And Rome fell in 150.
Yeah. Rome was founded in 753 BC and took over the fall of Greece in 146 BC.
What the fuck were they saying before year one? I know Louis did a bit about but what was it? What would they say?
I don't know.
What would they say? Did they not take, isn't that crazy to think about? So okay, my whole point is they propagated.
The calendar wasn't introduced until 45 BC by Julius Caesar, so I don't think they were keeping track of dates very well before that.
So you just wake up?
Just be like, fuck it, it's plow the fields day.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Seems like a great way to live. It does seem like a more optimal way to live, so you don't have... It is more optimal not having a calendar. If we didn't have calendars, the value of an average chick would go down exponentially because you can't celebrate your birthday. Nobody cares about you. You can't wear a tiara. You're not a princess, and you're not a pillow princess either, you pig. So, yeah. But so my whole point was that they used to glorify having a small hammer, right?
Yeah, it was in all the sculptures. It was it was a proud thing.
It was a proud thing because they didn't want the Ashton Halls of the world banging all the wife. But the truth is, the darker complex guys, as the Greek pedophiles were off with the boys, the BBCs were banging the hot wives, and I think that's what happened. So yeah, it's just very impressive when I look at those videos, more than his sculpture of Ashton Hall, and more of anything, more money, the 10,000 thing that we got to make 10,000 right now, which is actually, when I did the mathematics of it, that's probably what you need a day. So you're making 300,000 a month. So you're making 3.6 million a year. 3.6 million a year. You live like him. So the 10,000 a day is, if you're making $10,000 a day and after taxes, you probably lose $1 million, but all the expenses and everything like that, you're probably clearing $2.6 million. You're living a good life. You're living as good of a life. But yes, the most impressive thing about Ashton Hall is that massive hog. Do you think he knows that? He's doing that for this.
I, at first, borderline thought it was fake. Like, I thought he put something in his pants to run, and then yeah, you can clearly see, like, the mushroom tip.
It's a
cloud. It's a nuclear cloud.
Yeah, and this man is a disciple of Jesus. Big JC guy, reads the Bible every day. But it feels like Jesus is taking a second off when he's running and his big black cock is flopping around. It doesn't feel like Jesus is around in those videos. The other videos, Jesus is around. But when that purple-headed yogurt slinger is it's zoomed in too. It's not like, oh, is that, sometimes I'll wear pants that I know you can see the outline of my hammer, and I'm doing that on purpose. But you have to look, is that, it's zoomed in, and man, it's like, not just zoomed in, it's the center of the IG reel. It's where the eyes are going. There is no way man of Jesus is thinking about, he might be actually running along and his hog is flopping back and forth and he's going, Jesus died for my sins. Jesus died for me posting my big package on Instagram, because if I can't post my big package on Instagram, what did Jesus really die for? So if that's what Ashton Hall is thinking, he's right, but I don't know. That's my thoughts. Anything you want to add to that?
You guys will have just seen the picture of the reel. That's crazy that it is just the center of the reel. I was looking at that right now. That's crazy.
So that's the fair conclusion, that Jesus did die for Ashton Hall's sins?
Yeah, Jesus was hung so he could be hung. That's the message.
I love it. Jesus was hung so he could be hung. Anyways, all right. We did it. I don't know how long that was. Seems 20 minutes.
It was good. Yeah, we're at about 20 minutes and 30 seconds.
Baby, we're almost at 1,000 at one of these episodes. Okay, I'm JJ Lieberman. That's Brandon Lejean. Go check us out on I don't know if you found this, you found it where we're supposed to be. Other than that, I didn't add you on a clip today. My bad. Not like you reshare anyway. So, but yeah, okay, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. We'll do it again, baby.